Got it? Oh, yeah. We're coming through. All right. Well, welcome to week 2. You guys must have enjoyed yourselves last week and got your homework done this week because you came back. So I'm so happy to see your faces. Exciting. So Stacy Davis is with us this week. She's a table lead, and she is also my administrative volunteer for this class. So thank you. She was on a cruise last week and enjoying the sunshine, which we haven't seen in a while. No, actually, we saw it yesterday, but I know, I appreciate that. Thank you so much. But she's made her return, so I appreciate that. And there are some goodies on the back table. So the campus has a basket full of some snacks, but also Nevaeh made us some chocolate-covered pretzels for Valentine's Day back there. So thank you so much. We will accept any treats. If anybody wants to do some baking, we love that. Right, everyone? And then the last week of the term, we always do a party at our tables. So we do just little potlucks. Your table leader will get that organized for you, but that's a fun time of fellowship and breaking bread together. So that's a few weeks off yet. But as I was preparing for tonight, I was thinking about what Renee was talking about last week. She had read all of 1 Corinthians 13, the love chapter, and I was thinking about Valentine's Day coming up this weekend. And when I say Valentine's Day, how many of you get excited? Yep, I do. I like Valentine's Day. Some of you are probably like, I could care less. I'm sure there's some of those. And then there are other people in here that are probably like, ooh, that evokes pain, actually. Like, I don't like Valentine's Day because I've been hurt in the past. And so I went down a little bit of a rabbit hole, and I'm going to share with you guys a little bit about the roots of Valentine's Day. Does anybody know any of the story? Maybe a little bit. You know, we've all heard about Saint Valentine, right? But the way that it started was in the first century, there actually was a pagan festival that was called Lupercalia. And it was a pagan fertility and purification rite involving animal sacrifices. And I will say no more. You can imagine. But here's a really neat tidbit to that is it also included this matchmaking piece to it where men would draw names and they would actually court and sometimes even marry these women. So it was a first century eHarmony happening. Is that crazy? In the first century. So then in the late 5th century, the Pope banned this festival, this pagan festival, and he replaced it with a feast that was honoring Saint Valentine. And Saint Valentine's story was he would, because of the persecution of the Christians, he would marry Christians secretly, and he would help the Christians. And because of that, he ended up getting thrown in jail. And when he was in jail, he was writing love letters to the jailer's daughter. And he would sign it, your favorite Valentine. So there's another tidbit. Wow. So then fast forward, in the Middle Ages, Valentine's Day became well known. It tied into ideas of courtly love in early spring. So it was all of this emotional, phileo love, the emotions and the romantic love. But I am here today to claim Valentine's Day for the Lord because it's a day of love. So let's reclaim that and take it back. Let it be a day where we love the way that God commanded us to. And it's not with emotions, it's not with feelings, but it's with actions. It's what 1 Corinthians 13 says, to be patient, to be kind, to not be envious, to not be boastful, not rude. Love endures all things. It's not insisting of its own way. It rejoices in truth. It bears all things, it hopes all things, it endures all things. And that kind of love, that agape love that we receive from the Father, that the Holy Spirit puts into our heart, that's what Romans 5:5 tells us. That is what we need to extend to other people. It's action. It's a choice that we choose to walk in that agape love. But the key to it is we need to ask the Father for it. Holy Spirit, we ask that you give us that love, that you shed that love into our hearts so that we can walk in love. As we learn about missions, as we learn about Paul's epistles, help us to be vessels that are conduits of your beautiful agape love. Help us to make that choice on Valentine's Day, but every other day of the year also. So that's my little tidbit about Valentine's Day. You guys will never think the same about Valentine's Day again. You'll be like, wow, it started out as this pagan festival, and then it turned into this emotional thing. And in the middle there, God was trying to grab a hold of it with this Christian that was trying to help out Christians. And now, today, I'm declaring that it's God's day, a day of love. Okay. All right. So, how did your homework go? Yeah? Yeah? All right. Did anyone have any trouble? Did anybody have trouble? Okay. We'll help you. Yeah, absolutely. Uh, Spencer. Yes. Yes. Every week. So we have small group time. The first hour is going to be small group time, and then the second hour is going to be class time. But we actually have 2 classes. So there'll be the missions class, and then there's Spencer's class. So one will be here, and one is at Richland, and they'll rotate every week. So you'll get to meet both teachers and see both of them. But when we don't have a class here, it's going to be online. Okay. Yes, got it. Okay. Gotcha. That is, I upload all of the homework on Thursday. That's my job. Thursday morning, I put everything in. Sometimes with a line, you just have to refresh your page. And you will find, did anybody have problems finding the videos? Okay. So it's always going to be under lessons. You'll go into lessons, and that's where your videos are going to be. I put both videos in there, so if you are absent, you'll be able to go into that class and find the video for that week. For the small group time, for both classes, under lessons. And then your homework is going to be in the homework section.
And my problem was I did the knowledge of the holy homework, but it says that I didn't do it.
Okay.
It was reading it and then putting a post in there. Did I miss something?
You have to scroll all the way down and hit turn in. It's a common problem, so I'm guessing that probably is it. So when you do that, because you'll be like, why didn't this go in? But you have to. Good job. Yes. Okay. I don't believe so. I don't think there's a set time of day that happens. So every once in a while you'll get a little glitch with a line. It's wonderful. It's a really easy, user-friendly system. Every once in a while it just does its own thing. So I would say just refresh, go back into your browser and kick it back up. Any other questions on homework? Okay. How was the knowledge of the holy? Yeah. It's really good. It's really heady. It's chewy. The chapters are short, which is what keeps you going, because it's like, okay, they're not very long, so I can do this. But I was telling the girls last week, I was at Stacy's table, and I was like, just keep reading. Just keep reading, and it'll start computing, and don't try and go back every sentence and reread. Just keep reading, and it'll all come together. He has a very distinct way of writing, using Old English, but it's good. And so on YouTube, yeah. So it is on YouTube if you guys want to look that up, and you can have it read to you, and you can read along in the book. If you're a little more auditory, if that works for you, that's a great option. I love to do that with my Bible reading sometimes too. Perfect. Perfect. Yes. So that's legal. You guys can do that. Anything that helps. And a lot of the books are on audio, and I have a lot of people that will use the audio function. If they drive for their job, a lot of times they'll use the audio to do that. Okay. Did everybody watch the Paul's Letter video? Perfect. 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 And you can finish up later because it'll be there. Spencer is incredible. He is the director of Radiant School of Worship, and they're at their Freedom Retreat, so we only have him by video tonight. But in 2 weeks, he'll be here in person, and he said to send his love, and he's excited to meet everybody and looking forward to the class in 2 weeks. And then I think that's about all I've got for tonight, unless anyone has any other questions. I do have one more question. So as you guys were reading the knowledge of the holy, he poses a question in the beginning of the first chapter that says, what is the first thing that comes into your mind when you think about God? And that's the most important thing about you. Does anybody want to share what their answer to that question would be? Mm. Yes. We all are. Don't worry. Right. Right. Yeah. Yeah, and I think our natural man, wants to be nervous about that because everything's going to flash across the screen, right? I've made mistakes, and I don't want everyone to see them, but I know the kindness and the faithfulness and the love of the Father. And I know that when I'm standing there and they're playing everything on that screen, that it's not going to matter, because I'm just going to want him. So it's just going to wash all of that away. But yeah, I love how you're changing that mindset. Anybody else? That was good. Thank you for being so transparent. Jill. So often we do relate God to our earthly father. And that could be good, that could be bad. In your case, that's wonderful, right? That protector, strong man, taking care of you. Anybody else? Yes, Sarah.
As I was going through the reading this week, I started thinking, I think a lot of times, that me included, but a lot of people seem to reading the Word and getting to know God as like a chore, or like a thing to check off our to-do list, as well as trying to make Him a God of convenience, and try to pick and choose what's convenient for us.
Yeah.
But when I think about that, that just means we have a lot of work to do within ourselves, and so it's more of a heart issue more than anything else.
Yes, it is. Thank you. Thanks for sharing that. Okay, I am going to cover one more thing, and then I'm going to have Jason come up. But Bible recap. How'd you guys do on that? How are you feeling about it? What do you think of Tara Lee? Does she pull some stuff out that is, woo? Yeah. And reading the Bible chronologically, I had somebody that came in and was like, wow, I really like that. That is a fun way to do it. And then you get all of the accounts and the Gospels all at the same time, and being able to see those side by side. And there's also, when you guys are in there, when you go to the devotional, the first one that pops up, the devotional, make sure you're not missing those videos. The Bible Project videos, those are incredible, and set the stage for your book when you're going into a new book, and sometimes in the middle of the book there'll be another one. Yeah.
Is there a Bible project for each day? I found it sometimes, but I didn't.
Not every day.
Okay.
Typically, if you start a new book of the Bible, there will be one for sure. Some books that are a little bit bigger, like the Gospels, have it halfway through also. And when you watch the video, it'll say, okay, we're only going to Matthew 18 or whatever, and then we're going to have another one. So just be checking that. And then there's also supplemental material. There's a link down there that you can click on, and it'll take you to any of the supplemental material that she has. It's videos, it's blogs, it's she'll do write-ups like on the Trinity, on baptism. I was looking at it today. There's a lot of things, and it's actually set up by day. So you have to go, because we're in the New Testament, you have to go all the way to day like 270 to get to where we're at. But there's a shortcut that you can click on to get there. But there it'll show you all the supplements for each day. So those are great resources too if you have extra time and want to read more. So don't hesitate to reach out to your table leader if you have any questions at all. Your table leaders have all been doing this program for a while. They know how things run, and if they don't know the answer to something, they'll get a hold of Jason or myself or Stacy. So don't hesitate to ask, okay? We want you guys to be successful. And the first couple weeks are the hardest, getting into that rhythm. So I hope you guys are finding, okay, this is when I'm going to do my homework. This is what's working. This isn't working. And find that rhythm. And once you find that rhythm, you'll see in a couple weeks things will kind of streamline, and you'll be like, I got this. I can do this. I know how to get into a line. I can put my homework in now. So, all right, I'm going to have Jason come up. He's got a quick little tidbit, and then we'll let you guys go into your small group time.
Thank you, Melissa. So good to be with you all again tonight. And one of the things I heard this Sunday from Pastor Caleb. Any of you heard the message? Yeah, he talked. He said something that relationships can wound and relationships can heal. And so part of our hope and why this is designed is for all of us in RSM part-time to hopefully grow as brothers and sisters in Christ with each other, right? And have some healing and connections. Part of the message also, though, that he shared was that we don't get fulfilled fully from each other, right? That can only be through Jesus. And so our hope is that you're going to get both in RSM, that you'll get the fellowship of being here in the evenings, and you'll also dive in deeper with the Lord and just grow closer to him. And hopefully you experience that even this week. It was cool. I didn't get a lot of chance to talk to these guys yet, but I heard that, man, there was some meaningful thing that I got, learning that I got from the reading this week, and that's our hope. The other piece I wanted to share was just to honor Melissa. People like Stacy and myself and the Davises, we come back because the program is done with excellence. And the program really is done how it's intended, for relationships with each other and to grow closer with Jesus. So grateful for your leadership and just, again, the excellence that you see, those copies that, we help with, but they're done, they're organized, the emails that go out, there's a lot of behind the scenes that happens to make this happen. So would you all just honor her with a clap there? Thank you. So we're excited in Portage, and the beauty is we're going to get to know each other. So when we see each other at church, say hi. That's part of doing this in Portage, so we're excited for that.
Thank you, Jason. Okay, so next week, I'm going to let Jason go on his own. Think he can handle it? He can handle it. So I'll be back and forth. I'll be over at Richland for a couple weeks, and I'll be back over here for a couple weeks. So exciting for me because I get to know all of you guys, everybody at Richland and everybody here. So you guys can go ahead, go into your small group time, small group leaders, go ahead and take it, go through the homework and build relationships, and then we'll start our class with Spencer at 7:30.